But NATO leaders are worried about the president's commitment to security ahead of his meeting this week with Russia's President Putin that takes place next Monday. Kay Coles-James is president of the Heritage Foundation. I'm so glad to have you on the show because I've wanted to have you for quite a while, and here you are. Kay, this weekend, the Heritage Foundation issued this tweet saying things to remember before real Donald Trump travels to Europe. Russia is the aggressor, Ukraine is the victim. Crimea belongs to Ukraine. NATO and U.S. troops in Europe serve our national interests. Europeans must spend more on defense, and Putin's track record shows he can't be trusted. What were you thinking of when you put out that reminder? Who needs reminded?
Amazing what you can get in one tweet, isn't it?
You
have an economy of words. Absolutely. You know, I think that message had several audiences. One, to our NATO allies, to let them know that we back home are in absolute support of our president and wanting to remind them of their responsibilities and their obligations. I think it was also to remind the American people of why the president is taking the position that he does. It's not because we are there in Europe to protect Europeans, while we are happy that we have the opportunity to do that. It is in our own national interest for our troops to be there, to be pre-positioned, to be ready for some of the hot spots around the world. And so I think that that particular tweet that I put out had multiple audiences.
Well, it's one of these, the NATO meeting doesn't usually get this much attention, but this one is certainly highly anticipated, and all eyes are going to be on it because it is high stakes, and we have a disruptive U.S. president who wants to change things. And as Kay Bailey Hutchison said yesterday, changes are being made. I wanted to ask you about this one in particular. You said at the last bullet is Putin's track record shows he can't be trusted. Take a listen to what Ambassador Hutchison said about concerns regarding Russia and how close it is getting to Turkey.
Oh, yes, I do think Russia is trying to flip Turkey. They're trying to flip many of our allies. They want to destabilize the strongest defense alliance in the history of the world, and that is NATO.
What is your position and Heritage's position on Turkey as an ally at this point?
Well, you know, I think that a lot of people don't give our president the credit that he deserves. They're so confused by all the noise surrounding, quote, the Russia investigation. This president is focused like a laser beam on U.S. national interest and our security. And we know that quite frankly, what we've seen unfold with Russia, they just cannot be trusted on this issue. And I think as our president heads off and is involved in these meetings, that he is acutely aware of that, and that U.S. national interest and our alliance with Turkey will be front and center. We will protect our allies.
Indeed. Let me ask you then about the other stop, because before he goes to visit NATO and Vladimir Putin, he's going to have a chance to see Theresa May, the Prime Minister of Britain. She is a government in crisis right now. She had her Foreign Secretary and her Brexit Secretary resign in the last 48 hours. Ian Bremmer of the Eurasia Group tweeted this: Prime Minister May could be out before Trump arrives. What do you make of this as her government tries to figure out a way to fulfill the wishes of the people? They voted to do Brexit, but it's been difficult for her to figure out exactly how to do that.
Well, I think she's got some great examples as she looks toward our own leadership in this country. Yeah, she is in a very difficult spot, but quite frankly, the people have spoken, and now it's up to those career politicians and those who serve in government to figure out how to make that happen.
Do you think that the popular sentiment, that the world is seeing, it's not just been here and in Britain, you're going to possibly see it soon in Brazil, is just driving this frustration, but the world is so interconnected now that it's hard to figure out how to separate?
That's absolutely the case, and you're correct. We are seeing that happen all over the globe, not just in Brazil and here and other countries, but I have confidence in the people of these nations as they rise up and speak to their leadership and challenge them to step up and make the difficult and the tough decisions. That's what leadership is all about.
And a last question to you about the Supreme Court. Do you feel that all of the nominees that President Trump would put forward is somebody that you could support from the Heritage Foundation and they will be confirmed?
Yeah, there's no question about that. This president ran on that. He gave his word to the American people that he would put forth someone who had a high regard for the Constitution of the United States, and that the cases would be decided on law and not on the whim of judges. So we are looking forward to tonight and know that whoever the nominee is, he or she will be someone who has a high regard for the Constitution and someone that we can get behind.
All right, Kay Coles-James, thanks for being here.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, why the premiums of the